You already see what kind of person he is when he talks on the air with the president. You already see how his attitude is during the debate. Will this guy ever shut up? You know, he's just a regular Joe on the corner. And the other president was just sat there quietly and been the bigger person and not said anything, just ignored it. But he has to always engage, say something. And then when you say something that's not true. It's amazing to me where people's intelligence goes. The whole time that the election was going on, you heard him say he was getting rid of gasoline, he was getting rid of fuel, he was getting rid of oil. And nobody said yes to that. But yet, everybody's voting to go back into dark ages. How do you heat your home? A lot of houses in Baltimore City, I don't know about your state, I only speak about here. A lot of houses have this thing called oil heat. Now, if you don't put oil in the furnace, the heat does not work. So how do you heat that house? Are you going to convert every house in the city of Baltimore or every house in the state of Maryland from oil heat to gas? Who's going to pay for the pipes? Some houses have radiators which need water boiling system. And gas conversion to a water boiling system is not always accurate. It's very expensive because the fuel oil burns a lot slower because it takes a long time to boil that water to heat up a whole house. Think about a pot on the stove boiling some water. It heats up the kitchen. It don't heat up the whole house. So you got to get that same amount of pressure times 10 to heat up the second floor of your house and the basement. And the best thing about the oil heat, what I used to do, I used to open up the door and put stuff in there and burn it. I just liked to see the thing burn because it was like a pit. And it was amazing to me how this pit was designed. It just was a hole with clay around the hole and the flame shooting up out of the clay that heats up this thing like an oven with a steel door. Now, sometimes you touch the door and burn the hell out of you. But I would open it early while the steel was still cold. And I liked the smell of the burn. And it was just loud. There was no fan blowing inside to blow any heat or anything. There was no forced burning and boiling the water. And whenever the water was low, there was a button you would push to fill it up. You controlled the humidity in the house by how much water you had in the cylinder. For people who didn't know, a lot of people said, what are you talking about? You know, I had one, and it was the best heat ever. It just was a dry heat. So a lot of times you might have a nosebleed or your nose just dry because it would just take all the humidity out of the air. But if you was doing laundry, the clothes would be dry in no time. If you go downstairs, take your clothes off the line, for people who have indoor clothesline like we did, in the wintertime, you didn't want your clothes to freeze on the line outside, so you had to hang them up inside. And unless you had a dryer and you wanted to spend that kind of money to run the dryer. Everybody didn't have a dryer. Everybody didn't have a washing machine. You know, poor people did things the old-fashioned way. We didn't have that. Eventually, we saved up to get a dryer. And the dryer was so hot, it burned and singed the edges of your clothes. It did the job, though. So we learned if it said delicate, don't put it in there. If it didn't say permanent press, don't put it in there. If it wasn't heavy duty, don't put it in there. If it was a suit, don't put it in there. The dry cleaning, don't put it in there. And if you did, you had to hurry up and take it out. Definitely be crisp. Like a hot iron hit and make a stiff on the corner, like frosted flakes. But those were the days. But like I say, nobody voted for Biden to put us back in dark ages. But everybody's jumping up and down. Yeah. How you gonna get to work? How's the MTA gonna operate? Because they run off of diesel, which is fuel, which comes from oil. Do you think that the MTA or the governor is going to convert the transit system to electric buses or natural gas buses? You don't get no mileage out of those. Buses be broke down all the time. Now, if you force their hand and make them get electric buses, then you're going to have to walk a long way to get where you got to go, but they're not going to be going as far as they're going right now because you can't get the mileage out of them. And nobody's going to put in the middle of the road for buses to pull over and get fuel so they can finish running a transit line. That's irresponsible, and that makes no sense. That's why the free bus goes in a limited distance because it can't go all the way in a round trip without the batteries needing to charge. So that's crazy. Somebody think that. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. No. So just off the top of my head, Green, what would you consider? You'll take the mandatory testing and vaccination?
Everything's so mandatory now. Everything's so mandatory now, and with jobs going, I'm so worried about, your health and affecting others. I gotta see that it's legit first because I remember a long time ago a lot of people died from the flu shot.
You can't see. He's just gonna make you take it. You can't see.
I mean, you hear about it first. A lot of people died from the flu shot. Remember, when people got the flu shot, and there were complications, and then they passed away. If you don't know how that happened, I remember. Yeah, so I hate doing stuff that I not do.
What bothers me the most about people in America and people in general, you know what's going on. You know the truth. This is why the devil always wins between good and evil, because people get distracted by something stupid and they forget the main objective. The main objective as a black man or a black woman in America is self-preservation. Don't let nobody do anything that's going to destroy your life or the life of your children or your freedom to enjoy your life or the life of your children. So all this stuff and this rhetoric about, the police shooting black people. There has never, ever been a day in my life that the police did not shoot black people. So to make it sound like out of the blue, police shooting black people, what the hell they carry the gun for if they're not going to shoot nobody? Back in the day, the police, back in the day in Baltimore, I can't speak to nobody else. The police would come, they would say something to you. You answered, and you went about your business. If you did the stuff that you're doing today, back then, I can almost bet $1 million and guarantee you won't be home tonight or no other night. Not only will you be in jail, you might be busted up by the time you get there. When the police officer is talking to you Now, I'm going to give you an example. This guy sent me a YouTube video yesterday where he ran a stop sign. The police pulled him over. And he got out the car because his mother was standing there and said, get out the car. Stand over here. Not today, not today. You ain't going to kill my child. So she was just making this big stink out of nothing. First of all, I would have locked the boy up for getting out of the car. I don't know what you got. That's not even how you do a traffic stop. Why would you even tell the boy, get out the car? You stay in the car. That's what's called a traffic stop. Nobody cares about you pulling over to the house. Then the second thing I would have did, since he got out the house, got out the car, and the mother told him, go in the house, I would have had the car towed because he pulled over to the left side of the road, not the right side of the road. So you facing head-on traffic because you know what you was doing. You know you ran a stop sign. You didn't want to stop for the police. So you're going to run home to your mom because you know she's full of drama. And that's what happened. Drama and still. And she talks about how he's in college and he's a double major. And he's 19 years old, getting his master's degree. Whoop-de-doo, lady. I was 22 getting my doctorate degree, but I knew enough to know when the police put the lights on me, I got to pull over. I don't keep running until I get home. You pull over, they stop you. So, pulling your cell phone out while the police are talking, it's okay. Let somebody else record you. Don't stand there pulling the cell phone out. First of all, and you got to think common sense. I don't know you. You don't know me. You the one that stopped and committed the crime. All I want to do is write the ticket and get the fuck out of Dodge so I can go home. You get out the car. I done shot you before I ask you, what are you doing? I'm not going to give you the opportunity to pull a weapon on me, and I can't get home to my children, my family. Phone lines are open, folks, 917-889-8825. Join the conversation, 917-889-8825. So, I'm going to give you a prime example of good cop, bad cop. And I don't mean nasty attitude. I mean a good way to do policing and a bad way to do policing.
Mm-hmm.
Amy Caprio, may she rest in peace. They were a bunch of 4 black boys up in the neighborhood, Baltimore County area, stopping people, robbing houses, stealing jewelry and whatever they could find. One day, this was a series of 3 days. They didn't know who it was. They knew it was peculiar. Somebody saw what was happening. They called the police. Amy DiCaprio shows up. The children get out and scatter. The little boy is, I guess he was a teenager, 17 or whatever, behind the wheel. And Warren Brown decided he's going to take the case because he wants him to have a fair trial. Warren Brown is a liar. I thought, and I didn't find this out until yesterday, I thought that the boy went to jail. Matter of fact, I think it was Bianca that told me he didn't go to jail. That's bad policing. She sat there. You can find the videos on YouTube. She sat there with her gun drawn, repeatedly saying, stop the car, get out the car, get out the car, don't make me do this, get out the car, stop, get out the car, stop. Too much talking. He put his feet on the gas, ran her over and killed her. She didn't get back home to her husband and her newborn baby. A lot of black people say, oh, fuck the police.